What's going on, Juventus fans? Welcome back to your old lady's favorite YouTube channel. Today we got your latest rundown of all things Juventus, and we got some big stories to talk about. We got Dybala. We got what is his situation going on with him. We got another player name that actually it's come up before, but we got to talk about that one coming in here. We've got another name that is a big name that's not going to surprise you, and then of course we got to talk about a former coach and some of his comments when it came to Juventus. Stick with us; we'll fill you in now. Ciao ragazzi, welcome back to the Bianconeri. My name is Justin Sofro. Today is Sunday, November 21st, 2021. And of course, we have your rundown of all things Juventus. Though I do want to give a shout out today. Obviously, he's not around to hear it anymore. But I do want to give a shout out to my great-grandfather, whose birthday is today. Esteban Sofro, who is the reason that I'm an Italian fan, a Juventus fan, all that have you. It all came into being because of him, so I just want to give a big shout out to him. He was born in 1905, though, and passed away in 2000, so he's not here to celebrate it, but it's a very important day to me, so I thought I'd get that out and say that anyway. Let's go ahead and just jump into it. We're going to get to what exactly we're talking about when we have a few news stories that we have going on, but also, before we do that, let's go ahead and hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and hit that bell icon to stay notified for all of our latest videos. I'll wait a second. Make sure you hit that like button. All right, thank you. Thank you for doing that. Hit that like button. It really does help us with the algorithm, what's going on here. All right, let's just go ahead and jump into it. What news do we have for you today? As I said, let's start off with Dybala. So Dybala says to Sky Italia, he said, I'll be back in training with the group tomorrow. Does that mean that he'll be playing the next game against Chelsea? We'll see. I don't know. I'm a little bit doubtful. You have one day coming back to training, and then you're going to go up against Chelsea. I doubt he'll be starting that match. We'll see. Maybe. I don't know. But then what's most important is that he gets back and gets healthy to come back and play against Atalanta. Juventus really desperately need to get 3 points against Atalanta. If you get that win, you're back cooking with oil, and you have a good momentum moving in to just the Serie A. Again, you had a lot of big moves happen this week. You had you beat Lazio, so you're there tied at 21 points. And that way in 5th place, but then you also got things like Inter ended up beating Napoli, which I really would rather draw for both, but that's fine. Inter beat Napoli, so Napoli and both Milan lost as well, so that way they stayed at the top of the table, stays at 32 points, so that way you're still within 11 right now. A lot can happen in the next month or so. Juventus, after they play Atalanta, have a lot of, I don't want to say easy, but games that they should win. We know what happens when we say they should win games, but they have a lot of games on the schedule that are must-wins, that are really feasible, and if they don't do it, it'll be a very large disappointment for me personally, and just I think for the club in general. So we'll see what happens and how that shakes out. Then hopefully Dybala will be there along the way. Then the next news story is, of course, is a name, and I think you all had a lot of corrections for me when this story came out last time because I was full Ron Burgundy and I just read what was put in front of me. Today I actually made sure to clarify this before I went and said it, but Calcio Mercato was reporting that Juventus are seriously interested in Andrea Cambiaso, a left back from Genoa. The player has a contract until 2023. I'm trying to make sure I say it like that because I keep going with the American way of saying it, and I'm trying to change it the way it rolls off my tongue like that. But what you all corrected me on before, it said he was a center back, and I went into a whole spiel in detail about why he could be used, why he's important as a center back, and my man's a left back. He's a full back. My bad from the time before. But anyway, this would be good, and this would be a big deal for Juventus if they can get him, because Juventus, as we know, needs a left back, especially with the situation going on. Alexandro being hurt, Danilo's hurt now, so another guy who used to be able to move over if you had to move things around, whatever have you. You're going to need this, so if you could add in another guy who can play left back, and I know you all have been hounding us here on the channel about how much you want a left back anyway, so it would be a good move for Juventus to go ahead and pick up a player like this and bring him into the fold for the upcoming seasons. We'll see. The player has a contract until 2023, so it may take a little bit more work than, say, a player who has a contract that's expiring ASAP. Anyway, let's move on. The next thing we got to talk about is involves the former coach of Juventus, Maurizio Sarri, and some comments that he made. Maybe some people rubbed some people the wrong way. I'll let you know my thoughts, but we'll see. Anyway, Sarri talking to Days in Italia says maybe he was taking some shots against Juventus. He said Dybala was 3 meters away and saw it perfectly. then VAR did something crazy because you can't judge it based on an image. It's a penalty that are only given in Italy. Apart from the penalty episode, I didn't like the way the game was conducted. Sure, you cannot like the way the game was conducted now that you're not the coach of Juventus. I don't think anything. Juventus doesn't seem to be one of the squads that I feel like really gets a lot of help when it comes to the referees and whatever have you. Personally, that's my personal opinion. Of course, as a fan, people are always going to be biased. I don't think that really made a big difference in the game. Honestly, Juventus had way more challenges or way more chances to go in there and score than Lazio did. And Juventus should have scored. I really still think they should have won 3 or 4-0, honestly, at least in this game. But, I mean, there were also 2 penalties. So 1-0 would have done the trick. So whatever. But then the second part is what he gets to. And the part that I really want to comment on, because, I mean, coaches are going to say what coaches want to say, and that's fine. I don't care. The second part was what he said, honestly, I don't care about Juve fans. I've worked at Juve. I've coached great players. Then it ends there. I don't care. Here's the thing with me. Maybe some Juventus fans will get angry and get upset. I don't think they should, especially the way Sarri was, I don't want to say he was mistreated, but if that makes sense, where you gave him 1 season, and then you pushed him out and moved him on. So I would not expect him to have a close affinity for Juventus, to be honest. I still think the way it worked out and the way they hired him, whatever have you, I think it was a dumb decision to move him out in 1 year, and I understand Juventus is different than a lot of other clubs, sports, or whatever have you when it comes to coaches and the way you move them. I didn't like the way it's done. I didn't like the way it was brought in Allegri or whatever. I don't think that move was something that really was a good choice. I think really when you hire a coach, you give him 3 years, and I understand people aren't going to like it. You give him 3 years. You give him the tools that he needs, as in the players, whatever have you. But again, I'm not here advocating for Sarri. That's not my job or what I'm doing here. What I'm commenting on are just the comments that he made about not caring about the fans of Juventus. I don't expect him to care about the fans, but I also understand that when it comes to coaches, there's a big difference in the way that coaches' minds think and fans or just normal human beings. Coaches, to me, in my experience with football, basketball, American football, whatever have you, it's very different than the average human being. They are constantly thinking about moving and whatever they can do. What's the next step? What's the next whatever? It's not about personal connections, none of that. Even when they're recruiting, I think it's like really personal. It's just, okay, this is going to do this. This will be great. One good example, a coach that I dearly love, who coached at my University of Louisville here in Kentucky, Rick Pitino. He made the Final Four at Louisville, which is the Final Four. It's when you go to the national championship, the tournament, there's 64 teams at that time. Now it's 68. 64 teams. When you make the Final Four, the Final Four, it's basically just the semifinals. That's a really big deal just because it's really difficult because of how big the tournament is. He made the Final Four at Louisville, and he didn't realize Louisville's not exactly a school that's like Final Four is not that big of a deal. It's actual championships that matter, not Final Fours. Final Four is cool, but it doesn't matter. But he literally made the Final Four. He lost in the Final Four, and then he comes back and says, okay, where do we go to now? Where's my next job? Where's my next whatever thing? Instead of thinking, oh, I need to go win the championship, it's like, okay, this was successful here. I'm ready to move on. Let's go see what's at whatever location or what's at whatever place. It's how coaches operate. It's not normal. It's not whatever. They don't have this deep connection. So I don't care. Honestly, it doesn't matter to me if he doesn't care about the fans. He doesn't care about whatever. I don't think we as fans, honestly, given the way that one season played out, really have anything to complain about. Like, he won a Scudetto. I appreciate him for that. He won it. Didn't have the greatest end of his season, but at the same time, he wasn't. I honestly don't think he was given a full fair shake. This is my personal opinion. Y'all are allowed to berate me in the comment section down below. He probably should have gotten 2 more years, honestly. He probably should have been able to get some players. Like, he probably would have got Jorginho in here, which good or bad right now with the penalties and my feelings about him. But we would have seen what would happen from there instead of the experiment with Pirlo and then back with Allegri. And I like Allegri too, so I'm happy to be back with Allegri. But if you're going to make a move, I just feel like you got to stick with that move. It's weird. I mean, I say that, and then you'll see me on Twitter saying about fire a coach about a different team or something like that. We're all hypocrites. Anyway, that's my personal opinion. Don't really care if Sarri doesn't really have a soft spot for Juventus fans. That's really what I'm saying. All right, final story of the day really is about Juventus really pushing for Dusan Vlahovic. Calcio Mercato is reporting that Juve are trying to make a breakthrough as early as January in order to beat competition from Tottenham, Manchester City, and Arsenal for Dusan Vlahovic. And this would be great news for me as a Juventus fan. Honestly, if there's a way they can get this done during the month during the month of January to get it done and have him in here and be a part of the squad for the end of the season or for the second half of the season, that would be fantastic. That's what we need as a guy of his caliber out there playing, really boosting our goal scoring. That's what we've really struggled lately with goal scoring, and we've seen one thing, and I don't care. I know there's been somebody who said on here, move on, we don't need to do some Vlahovic, let's go get Icardi. My guy, and I have love for you, my guy. I cannot disagree with you stronger in this matter. And Dusan Vlahovic is a top-tier player. And the only reason and I truly believe this, the one reason he didn't have a great game against Juventus is because we have the prodigy that is Matthias de Ligt. He's a fantastic defender. He shut him down, and we should be thankful just that we have him. And hopefully he continues to remain with Juventus in the future, hopefully teaming that up with Dusan Vlahovic actually on the same team. And the one thing that I was worried, basically what happened to Milan was exactly what I was worried about that could have happened to Juventus, given my experience in the last couple of years where Juventus has gotten run over a little bit a couple of times with 3-0 losses against Fiorentina. Luckily, they held back and saved that one for the Milan match anyway. So definitely, and he had 2 goals there. My man's on just a tear right now in Serie A, and Juventus could be do a lot worse than bringing the likes of Dusan Vlahovic to Juventus. So we'll see. We'll keep an eye on that. Hopefully he ends up coming. I will be more than happy to see him wearing the black and white, of course. So anyway, let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below of all the topics that we talked about today, as well as make sure you go ahead and hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and hit that bell icon to stay notified for all of our latest videos. Make sure you follow Bianconerizone at Bianconerizone on Twitter and Instagram. Make sure you follow me at Justin Sofro. Yeah, it's right there, right below me, at Justin Sofro on Twitter. And follow Julian Genotti at Genotti151 on Twitter, and Alejandro Fancello at Alejandro BZ on Twitter as well. Forza Juve, Forza Bianconeri. We'll see you guys tomorrow.